Welcome back, guys, to another video on the channel, Breaking Code. And today we are going to box off one of those SQL Road to Glory learning videos. Okay, so please like, comment, and subscribe so I can keep this Road to Glory series going for you guys, because it seems like I'm getting a bit of interaction, a bit of demand, and that's good because I want to keep these videos going for you because they're very helpful. Okay, so quick recap on the last video. In the last video, basically, we looked at why you would want to study SQL. Obviously the fact that it's been around for a long time, accesses data really fast, and the pay is pretty good and all that jazz, really. Okay, we looked at what a database is, making use of terms like a relational database. Okay, we also looked into the need to start coding. So I helped you set up your when I say we looked into the need to start coding, I meant we looked into what you need to start coding in SQL. Okay, so obviously I looked at things like the development tools, like SQL Server. What do we need to get installed? Like SQL Server Management Studio, and we even created our own database table as well. So if you missed that, please check out that video. I'm sure you'd love to know how to set up your own environment and create your own table as well. So it's in the series or it's in the channel. Please like, subscribe, and there's a lot of videos there that will help you out. Okay, but today we are going to be looking at how to create tables. Then we are going to alter and delete the tables we created. Okay, and delete, the term used in SQL is actually drop the table. So there we go. Okay, now we have two ways of doing this in SQL Server Management Studios, or SSMS, which basically that's what it stands for, right? Okay, so SQL Server provides you two ways to do all the stuff we want to do in this video today. Okay, so one is with a graphical user interface, okay, and the other is by writing queries. Okay, now you can choose however way you want to do it. For me, either way is easy, but when it comes to industry, and when I say industry, I mean working for a company, they're gonna want to see you doing this the query way. At least at the interview stage anyway, because it kind of shows that you're competent. I'm sure they have many reasons. I don't want to go into that right now, but and it's a matter of opinion, but you get more respect from your peers by writing the queries as opposed to using the GUI. But as I said, it's a matter of opinion. Don't want to go into that, so let's just jump into SSMS. Let me try and load that up for you. SSMS. Oops, is that loading up? Yes, cool. It's loading up for you. And if you don't have SSMS, I suggest that you either watch the previous video to see how to download it and install it, and it will really help you so you can follow along. And it's really helpful if you do follow along. Okay. Before we do anything, actually, my tutorial style is I like to give real world examples so you kind of get used to how these languages and softwares can be used in a real world. So if you get a job, or maybe you start your own software house, and someone asks you to do something for them, you can kind of get into your mind or into the mindset of how to translate that request into the code and software. Okay, so real world scenario often deal with objects. Okay, and objects could be people, things, places, foods, you name it. Anything you can think of can be turned into an object. And no matter what sector or industry you go into, there's going to be something they want you to represent as an object. So for example, today let's say we are in the gaming industry and they want us to create somewhere where we can store the data for the new game. Okay, the new game's called Beginning Fantasy. So let's do that then. Let's connect to our database first of all. Okay, and we can create a database using the query syntax. So let's click New Query here, and that will give us space to do that. So using the create statement or keyword, now the create keyword can be used in SQL to create a whole load of other things in SQL, which we will cover in later videos. But for now, let's just write this. Okay, so create. There we go. And we want to create a database. So we write the word database. Okay. And then we write the name of it. So let's call it beginning. Is that how you spell beginning? No, it's two N's, I believe. Beginning, and we'll have fantasy DB. Oh no, DB1. There we go. So we could just highlight that and click execute. Okay, and it gave us a response saying the command executed successfully. So let's check that out. So we click on here. We click refresh. Okay, and then if we open that up, there we go. We can see our database there, Beginning Fantasy DB1 created. Cool. We can also do the same thing by using the GUI. Okay, and how we do that is we just right click on the word database and click New Database, or create new database. Is that what it said? Yep, cool. And then this new screen will kind of open up for us, and there in this box we can give it a name. So let's call it Beginning Fantasy DB2. Okay, and then when you're done with the naming, you click OK, and let's see what happens. Okay, so there we go. So we didn't even have to refresh there, and it's created our new database for us. Okay, that's what we wanted. Okay. So just for context here, there are two types of databases, okay, that you can see. There's a system database, okay, and or system-defined databases, okay, and then there's a user-defined databases, okay. So in a nutshell, these system ones, yeah, are created at runtime, and SQL Server needs them to, sorry, did I say runtime? Installation time, when you install the application, okay, and SQL Server kind of needs them to function, okay. And then obviously these ones are obviously created by the user, being myself in this case, but it'll be you in your case, and that's basically it, okay. Okay, so now we know how to create databases. Well, how about when we want to alter them? How do we do that? How do we alter these databases, these two that we just created? So let's actually refresh that. Actually, so we can see that in alphabetical order. Okay, because in industry or in the real world, the client's going to come back to us as they always do, and they'll say, "Hey, marketing," or they'll say something like this along these lines. Sorry, "Hey, marketing want us to rename the name of the game, and it because it resembles something that's in another product that's in the market at the moment." Okay, so they have decided to go with a new name, Beginning Atlantis. Can you change that for us? Okay, no problem. So this time we're going to start with the GUI. Okay, so click on the database that we're going to rename. Okay, so we click on this one. I'll right click on it, and then we scroll down and click on rename. Okay, and instead of the fancy, we can just click on there and change that to Atlantis. And when we click enter, brilliant, that's been renamed for us. Okay, it's done everything automatically for us. Okay. If we wanted to do that in the query syntax way, we could. There's a keyword that we can use, and it's called the alter keyword. So rather than create keyword, we use the alter keyword. So if I just pop this further down so I can use it for later reference later, we type in alter database again, because that's what we want to alter. Okay, we want to alter the beginning fantasy db2 one, so I'll just copy that, save time typing, and change that to db2. Okay, and we want to modify, the name. Okay, and we want to change it to, okay, paste that again, beginning Atlantis. If I can just select that there, Atlantis, and it's db2, not db1. So if we highlight that and click execute, and then we refresh the database, hopefully that's changed. Oh, brilliant, it's changed it for us. Okay, brilliant, it's now Atlantis db2. Okay, but there's a secret scenario that we can use, another scenario to change the name of a database. Okay, we can use what's called a system stored procedure. Now, don't worry about what a stored procedure is yet. We're going to cover that in more detail in the future. Or if you are worried about it and you are basically the next Steve Jobs or Bill Gates, really inquisitive in things, like I always say, you can Google it, because as you guys know, knowledge is power. Okay, so there's a rename stored procedure that we can use that will rename for us without having to write this query. Okay, let's go down here and try and do that. Okay, so it is called execute. Oh, okay, well, actually the command we have to type in is execute, and then it's called, the store procedure is called sp underscore, and as you do that, IntelliSense is helping us to give us a list of all the store procedures we can use, and the one we're after is this one here, the rename db. Okay, and then we need to type in the name of the database that we want to rename. In this case, let's go with this one here. So let's rename this again. This time we are going to rename it to db. Sorry, that's the name that we are renaming. That's the database that we're renaming, and then obviously we just put a comma there. And what do we want to rename it to? Okay, so we'll just copy that and paste that there, and we want to rename it to beginning Atlantis db2, and 2 spelt out instead of the number 2. Okay, so let's execute that, highlight it and execute it. Okay, then we click and refresh our database, and let's see what happened. Brilliant, and it's done that for us. Okay, cool. Right, finally, let's see how we can delete a database, or in this case, drop it. Okay, so let's start with the query syntax this time. Okay, and let's first of all we can use the drop keyword. Okay, so it's quite simple this time. It's just a drop, and then what are we dropping? We're dropping a database. Okay, and what's the name of the database? In this case, we'll go for beginning Atlantis 2, database 2, and then we highlight that and execute that. Okay, completely successfully. Let's just verify that by refreshing the table. It's gone. Okay, cool. We can also use the GUI. Okay, let's go with this one. So we We just right click on that. Okay. And then we select delete. Okay. And click OK. Okay. And that's gone. Okay. And this will delete the behind the scenes stuff, the MDF and LDF files, okay, which we will cover in later lessons. And as you can see, the database is gone now. Okay. And just a quick note, if we have two users, right, okay, so I'm currently connected to this database at the moment. And if someone else logs in and connects these databases at the same time, okay, one of those users cannot then delete the database by running one of the actions we've talked about. Okay, if another user is using the database at that particular time, okay, and you'll get an error saying something along the lines of, you know, cannot drop database as the database is in use. Okay, so if you have, so you cannot delete the database when someone else is using it. This is known as DB. The DB being in multi-user mode at the time. Okay, but when the DB is in single user mode, okay, when it's just one user like myself in this scenario using the database, basically just one user using it, you can basically just drop as much as you like. Okay, and there's actually a stored procedure that you can use to do this. Okay, okay, so we'll write that out. Oh, let's create a database first. Okay, and then refresh that. Refresh that. Okay, so it's back. Okay, let's look at the stored procedure we can use. Alter database. Okay, and well, actually, sorry. Okay, it's not a stored procedure. Sorry, I'm wrong there. It's basically it's a command that you can use. Okay, okay, and that's alter database. I don't know what I was talking about there. Let's find the database name. Okay, okay. Now there's a couple of keywords here that I'm going to introduce you to. Set single user with rollback immediate. Okay, and just so you get an idea of what this is, basically, you know, this sets it to single user mode, okay, which means you're basically kind of forcing it into a single user mode. And with rollback immediate, any queries that are in flight by other users, so say another user was also using the same database and they had like a 20-minute query that was going on at the time on that database, this command will basically this keyword will basically roll that query back and then force this, the database into a single user mode rather than multi-user mode. Okay, and then it will then allow you to then drop whatever table you wanted to drop after you've ran this query there. Okay, cool. And there you go. That concludes this video. Hopefully it was helpful for you and introduced you to kind of the basics of creating, altering and dropping a database table. Hopefully it was very intuitive, helpful for you. Remember, practice makes perfect, so please like, comment and subscribe, as without your support I can't keep this channel going. And have a good day.